Welcome to Kid Story Time with Toys. Today we're playing with the new Transformer 1 toys, all based on the new film, and reading the brand new book. Let's take a look at these all new toys from the movie. The cars are drivable, and they open up really easily and become the robot Transformers. It has a spark, its arms are movable, and close it right back up, move it up and down, it clips right back. Let's take a look at Wheeljack. Today we're reading from the all-new book, Transformers 1, Finding the Spark, adapted by Gloria Cruz. And this book has real images straight from the movie. Let's go ahead and give it a read. Meet Orion Pax and D16. They are best friends and bots who live underneath the surface of the planet Cybertron. Some bots on Cybertron have cogs that let them change into amazing alt mods like cars, jets, and even giant spiders. But Orion Pax and D16 are cogless bots. They cannot change into alt mods. They spend their days mining for energon. One day, Orion Pax and D16 were sent to the lowest sublevel of Cybertron. There they met another cogless bot. "I'm B127, he said, "but you can call me B." It was B's job to sort through scrap metal. With some of the leftover pieces, he had created metal statues. As B showed his new friends his creations, sound started to come out of the one B had named Steve. Orion Pax recognized the voice. It was Alpha Trion, one of the greatest leaders, or primes, of Cybertron who disappeared a long time ago. It was a distress signal that led somewhere none of the cogless bots had ever been, the surface of Cybertron. "We have to help," said Orion Pax. D16 wasn't so sure. "There's a reason no one goes to the surface," he said. "It's dangerous." But Orion Pax was determined, and B knew something very few bots knew: how to get to the surface. First, they'd have to climb up all 50 levels of the trash chute. Then, they'd catch a ride on a waste disposal train. All they had to do was not get caught. But as soon as they got on the train, they were caught by their old mining crew leader, Alita 1. "Security, sound the alarm!" she shouted, and started running out of the train. B, Orion Pax, and D16 chased after her to stop her. They jumped over falling crates and scaled the train. Before the four bots knew it, the train reached the surface. The four tumbling bots stopped to gaze at the beauty in front of them. Even B, who always had something to say, was speechless. Orion Pax told Alita 1 about the message they had heard. They had to find Alpha Trion. It wouldn't be easy. There were dangers on the surface, like a storm of metal that came out of nowhere. The bots clutched the railing of the train and tried to ride out the storm. But the storm was too powerful. Metal sliced through the train, knocking the four bots onto the mysterious surface. Once the storm passed, the bots got back up on their feet. They had to keep going. On their way, they took in every wonder of the surface, the changing horizon, the plants that surrounded them, and the creatures living peacefully. The bots continued to follow the path from the distress signal. It led them to a cave with rocks so sharp they looked like teeth. The bots were scared, but they were also brave. They stepped inside the cave. They found the primes who had disappeared. They were all fallen except Alpha Trion. He was still alive, but weak. B127 and Orion Pax offered him some energon, and his spark lit up. Alpha Trion explained why he had sent out the distress signal. He and the other primes had been betrayed by a bad bot named Sentinel, who was now the leader of Cybertron. The young bots could not believe it, but they knew something had to be done. Alpha Trion had told them that it was up to them to save Cybertron. But how can a cogless bot save Cybertron? Asked D16. No one on Cybertron is born without a cog. Sentinel took them from you. But what defines a Transformer bot is not the cog in their chest, but the spark that resides in their core, Alpha Trion explained. With great power, Alpha Trion made cogs rise from 4 of the fallen primes. Take their cogs and access your full potential, said Alpha Trion. The cogs moved into the 4 bots. Orion Pax, D16, B, and Alita 1 felt power and strength course through their bodies. They could change into alt modes, and they knew that they could save Cybertron from Sentinel. 5 bots did not leave the cave that day. Alpha Trion stayed behind, while Orion Pax, D16B, and Alita 1 set off to complete their mission. But first, they had to discover their alt mods. Orion Pax went first, but something wasn't right. He had trouble keeping his balance as he began to turn into a big rig. Alita 1 was the next to try. At first, all that changed was her leg. She rolled out of control down a hill before discovering her motorcycle alt mode. B had almost completely changed into a sleek yellow sports car, but he was missing his wheels at first. The 3 bots pushed themselves harder, and when they finally had their alt modes fully figured out, they found themselves riding next to D16, who was a thundering tank. It was time to save Cybertron. The 4 heroes had found their spark and were ready to drive to their destinies.